I think, is he not gonna be here? He's usually late. He'll be here probably in a few minutes.
The debt policy, the second reading, motion to approve that.
Make a motion.
Your second,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The county mitigation rate resolution. Let's see. That wasn't in here, was it?
We don't have it.
We don't have it, all I have is this. It's what was on the desk.
That's all they give us, all we need, we just need to pass that, I just need to,
You are.
we just need to, pass this. You wanna look at it?
Yeah.
It's just a mitigation thing for the county, all municipalities have to pass it. Our motion.
I make a motion. Don talked to me about that the other day.
The second,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No, I read it.
It's too, it's just a, mitigation fund.
I just had something, had read it.
Yeah. Hardeman County 911 bill.
It was what, 4,000?
I think it's up from last.
It is,
It is considerably.
I can't remember the amount. It is,
I know they give their employees a raise, that's where it went up, line went up.
$4,692.34. Last time, it was $4,179.
Went up.
$4,100.79. It went up to $4,692.34.
Around $500.
Yep.
And that's gonna keep going up every year.
It's ridiculous.
I just can't see it. I mean,
I know Brandon Johnson's still fighting.
But then Ben said, he talked to the county mayor about that, and they're gonna come up with some of a new plan or something, to write out the whole law.
I mean, this is like 10% increase. We can't pay 10% more every year.
He needs to be here and tell us something.
To the.
Maybe.
Well, we don't have to move on this tonight. This is due in July.
Curtis, I know you've gone to a couple of meetings. And
There's gotta be somebody, like when I talk to the mayor, I don't know who regulates these people.
well,
I know that they're on their own, and they just do whatever they want to do.
well, I mean, this is ridiculous. So the bill that Hornsby gets, is that bill just for coverage inside the municipal city boundary lines? Or is it for the Hornsby Fire District?
No, it's just for.
The city.
Oh, the city.
It's the fire district.
Do what?
It's the fire.
Fire district.
Well, then why, but then that
But it's
means,
based on the population, so they told us it was based on the population of the town.
but if it's the fire district, part of our fire district is in the county, and the county's paying money, so aren't some areas being double paid?
That, from what I got, it's based on
The actual inside boundary of the city limits.
the population of the city, it's a percentage of how many people you have in town.
So can we make a motion to table it until Ben can check her
Make a
brain
motion
to
to
it?
table.
I second it, I agree.
Yeah. We didn't, like I say, we don't have to move on it now, it's not June or July. We'll table that.
says that just about every small town has that. It's because you have one person that does police and fire and, you know, me, because I need water and everything. And then the second one was expenditures exceeded appropriations for general and state street aid. And that's because we didn't amend our budget, but we didn't get our budget till what? Was it October this time?
October.
I believe it was October. So we just know that we have to amend our budget going forward if we,
And what had to do with what?
we spent more than we put in the budget for, general insurance. Yeah, yeah. And we just, and she just says, Tam will monitor expenditures and amend the budget. It's on the last page of your audit. Yeah. And that was it. So we had no financial findings. Just those two findings,
Which is good.
which is very good.
On the budget for the 24-25,
You want our planning session? So we're gonna have a planning session to talk about the budget on May the 21st at 6. Then we'll have a special meeting on May the 28th for the first reading of the budget. And then we'll have our regular scheduled meeting on June the 4th, and we'll have a special hearing on June the 18th at 6, with the meeting to follow for the second reading. So we will be in compliance and meet our deadline for the budget this year. Great, I'm so excited. And these will be published in the paper, and we'll have them on the board outside as well.
what's the latest? In there first thing in the fall? Will it go this week, maybe?
No, it will be next week.
Okay, yeah, that's what I think, that's what we do. I thought it was Thursday.
No, I think we have it by Monday.
Or is that tonight the latest?
I thought Thursday was the latest.
So if we email this to them, can we email this to them?
Pam can do it, yeah, well, she can email it to there, but I don't think it will
Go
go.
in tonight, I think.
Do
If
you?
he gets it tonight, he can get it in Thursday's back.
Okay, yeah, I just tell her.
But she wrote the same day, that was the date.
Did I?
She wrote the same exact.
Which one?
The last is still on there, the 20th is still on.
Oh. Listen. And you said 21st? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Or you change it?
No,
No.
I wrote down the ones that we had talked about first.
If she can get that done, I think he can get that in this week. Which it needs to be.
Yes, it needs to be. And all of them will be at 6 except for the regular scheduled meeting, and that will be at 7, like usual. That's it.
My next thing is the water department.
William told me that the tank people, American Tank, they're gonna start working on the tank Thursday. So we got the forms emailed to TDEC this afternoon, and filled out. So we're still working on the TAUD stuff, and that's the Tennessee Association of Utility Districts, and that's the list and everything we've got to get ready. William looked at stuff this afternoon, that's where he's gonna have to go to every meter, every utility in the state's having to do it, and put down what type of line is on our side of the meter and what's on the customer side of the meter. And that's all got to be set in, it's kind of an EPA thing. Bobby Hensley called me the other day, and he said he had heard from the state, and we do not have mapping done for our water system. And they kind of let us off for about a year because we've had all this other stuff going on. They sent him a message the other day, and he called him back and said it's got to be done. Yes, and, so actually I was talking to William, because we're gonna have some help from William. Actually in 2013, the city had gotten notification from TDEC saying that we were behind on doing this and we were supposed to have already done it. So we will have to do the water mains, size of main valves, blow offs and flush hydrants, air release valves and all fire hydrants. So Bobby and I talked, and we talked to Randy Buchanan, since they're doing a mapping of all the meters and everything. They're going to do this mapping for us with William's help. He's gonna have to show where the valves and some stuff like that are located. And they told Bobby they would not charge us any additional money. Praise the Lord. So, Randy Buchanan and TLM is gonna work on that and get us out from under that deficit. We did have a meeting about the feasibility study, so Randy Buchanan is working on that. Nate Fontenot called me the other day. I talked to the comptroller's office. I think Melissa had actually heard from the auditor. And what Nate was talking to me about is that last T-board meeting, they're talking about if you have a 40% water loss, then they will make you to a third-party AWWA form. And we were discussing it because I am so tired of paying these third-party companies to do stuff because they are so expensive. But anyway, he sent me some information. These were things that the comptroller's office actually found. Most of it was not good. There was some overpayments. Well, I will tell you. One of the things is there was a contract with Mr. Warren to be the water superintendent. The contract wasn't valid because it required board approval to begin with. Mr. Warren was paid $25,885 in a 15-month time span for only 175.75 hours. If you do the math, he was racking up. And I'm not bashing him or anything like that. It was just a very bad, drawn-out contract, and that's what the comptroller's office and T-board were real upset about. There was times that, for instance, Mr. Warren worked 6.75 hours. It was totaled up and he was paid for 51 hours. Instead of doing 30 minutes and 15 minutes, those were added up as 30 hours and 50 hours. And then there was only 6 other hours. So they were saying there's no way to pay someone 30 hours in one day when a day is only 24 hours long. So there was a lot of stuff like that. There was overpayment because the contract talked about a $300 per trip excavator cost. But then it went on to say that there was an $1,100 cap and we were going over the cap. But there was no real defined explanation. Is this $300 for him to just bring the excavator into town? Or is it $300 minimum that we have to pay? So it's gonna have to be more hours than 3 hours. So there was so much confusion, but they defined overpayment on excavator, overpayment on wages. And another thing that killed us is something we've talked about is audit. In 22 years, Bob Dahl has gotten 2 audits in on time. This last one was 263 days late. They have been as much as 321 days late. So, you know, it killed us. They really held that against us. We, on this audit, we went in the hole $37,000. And it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We paid out 1 month, what basically is 1/2 of our yearly cost of buying water from Selma. I very much see T-board asking us to do that AWWA third-party form. So that's what Nate and I talked about. He told me when we do our report in July to call him, let's talk again, refresh his memory on all this. There are new board members, there's been some change up. And I hate to go national, and I have said this all along, I hate to go before the board, but I honest to God believe we're at the point that we need to go before the board and talk to them. Because, you know, it's like he said, she said, and stuff kind of gets lost in translation, or they ask the comptroller, well, why was this like this? And they go, well, you know, I don't remember, but I think they told me, and I really think it's time that somebody here actually goes before the board and answers questions to try and head off that other study, because those studies, these thousands of dollars, they're killing us. And I hate to say it, but I really think it's time that we go in person and talk to T-Board. Especially since there's some new members that have not been familiar with the stuff that's come down before. So, other than that, I think that's pretty well it. Just whatever, I mean, if y'all think that we should go before the board, or somebody should go before the board.
I'm going before the board at our request, or
Yes, we have the right.
my request is to try to explain the situation at the time, or through the years, or whatever.
Well, we've not really been in trouble until beginning of 2021. But what has really killed us was when the SCADA was turned off at the pumping station in town.
Sure, when they're all overflowed.
Yeah, that's right. And that's where we, in 1 month, paid enough, and it reflects in this audit. That's where we paid enough money out to be half of our yearly cost of water. And that's gonna be enough percentage that they're going to make us, they're gonna do another order.
Well, if we go before and tell them that, I guess tell them that, about the mayor at the time, and maybe ours too, in confidence about it. Is that gonna make them forgive some of this stuff for us, or make them go with a little lighter on us, or what's it gonna do?
Well, what I wanted to do, and when I talked to the comptroller's office, is to be able to discuss and define with them enough why, that it's not that we have a water leak that costs us nearly $40,000 in 1 month, like a water line leak. But for them to understand what happened so that they will not order us to pay somebody to do another $5,000 or $10,000 study.
Are you asking for a motion to?
But I'm just asking y'all's opinion, because, I mean, my opinion is, I think we need to do it.
When they told us to raise these rates to them, I we should have followed. Not succumb to all the threats. You know, we're human like anybody else.
But I mean, you know, this audit shows a $37,000 loss in the water department for fiscal year ending June 30th of 23. I mean, you know, it's going to,
Well, that audit shows that look.
that one right there.
That guy that put what's his name, cut out the study.
No, this is what the auditor said that.
Is it close to what he had a figure in this?
Yeah, we paid over $102,000 for water for fiscal year 22-23. And we normally pay less than $17,000 a year for water.
Personally, I think we need to be represented in front of that board. That's just my opinion. I kind of don't, how things have happened. A lot of it happened before I came on the board, but we need to be able to explain where the loss came from.
And when you say this, what's the proposed study now?
Well, if we have a 40% water loss, and I don't know how we wouldn't have when we spent half our year's amount on water for just 1 month, it is actually called an AWWA form, and it does water percentage. It's something that years ago used to be a part of the audit, but the Water Wastewater Financing Board and Comptroller's Office found that people were manipulating numbers so it would look good, and they quit doing that. So now you have to do a utility annual information report, so you can't manipulate numbers. So what they would do now is, if you have a 40% or better loss, you have to pay someone like TAUD, MTAS, an engineer, whatever. You're gonna have to pay a third-party expert to come in and do that report, so they know that we're not manipulating numbers.
The third party water loss study.
Pretty much, percentage loss, yes.
Do we know how much water we got?
We don't yet. Our report is due July the 1st that we have to send in, but I dare say it'd have to be 40%.
Do we have the numbers, monthly numbers of loss?
There, well,
I'm
yeah.
talking about water gallon of water. Gallon.
Yeah. What they look at is how many gallons we bought and how many gallons we get paid for.
Yeah.
So, that's due July the 1st, so we'll have to get all those numbers together. But I dare say it's going to be 40%.
We used to see that this month. We used to see those numbers. Yeah. Yeah. But we don't see it anymore.
So, I mean, that's just my opinion. I think it's gonna be 40% and probably higher than 40%, as much as we spent. We used to spend around 65,000 a year on water.
I mean, just for the water.
Just what we purchased from Selby, yes, sir.
I was gonna ask later on, but what's this, this March, we purchased $9,589. Well, how many gallons does that represent?
I don't think I have the bill.
Underwater purchase?
Yeah, I don't have the bill. I'm sure it's in the water office, but I don't have it. How many gallons it
That's why I know how much we give a gallon. And then, of course, we don't see how much we sold or anything like that. Like we used to. Yeah, I agree, somebody will go represent.
But I'd like to head off.
How much that study gonna cost, you know, you?
I don't know, but I just, I think we've paid out more than enough money for studies.
And we still got a feasibility study coming, right?
We do.
We haven't even paid for the water rates yet, we haven't got a bill on it.
Really? That was down here.
Yes, sir.
And he's in Murfreesboro this week in school, because I talked to him today. They're working on the feasibility study. That's Curtis, was here, William was here, Joe, and Meg, and Jim Knuckles from the city of Oliver, and Randy McKinnon, we all had a meeting, so, Randy's working on the feasibility study.
How does it look?
What would you say?
Probably not good. But
I don't think anybody wants us.
I don't think anybody's gonna take it, so.
Be a good space for farmers, to get it set up and be done.
It will. I think we were looking at just, 2 million, Curtis, isn't that roughly what they said, to look back to Oliver? Selmer doesn't want us, so,
That's the only option, I think, is if they can work it out to go back to Bolivar. But I don't know how Bolivar's end of it's gonna work.
Of course, you wonder about the water. Of course, we're gonna have water bills double or maybe triple what they were having. You wonder about people you can pay their water bill every month, and then I don't know what the percentage is, on time, late, or whatever, but there's a lot of us pay our water bills on time. Like, all of a sudden it goes up, you know, do they deserve a triple water bill starting July? I don't think so. Not just, it's the ones that pay up every month.
I'm not arguing because, you know, I hate it for the seniors that, because, you know, there's people that,
Just pay on time, usually every month, you know? Doing it.
there's people that I know struggle to pay it. I know there's people that don't pay on time, but I look at the way they live and what they do, and I know their priorities are not in the right place. And I felt really bad about ours and I still feel really bad about it, but I was just reading Oakland went up, and it's like for 2 people in a household, theirs is $80 a month for 2 people.
Well,
And I think it's outrageous.
Or anybody else, I only know about, a little bit about home.
Well, I'm saying,
I know it went from 1875 and it's gonna go to $34 and some plus you're paying for every drop you use.
so I
That's a lot compared to what we've been doing.
think that and I know we don't, it's none of our concern, but Oakland or Moscow or anyone else does. I think every town is pretty well going up, and it's not even so much as just, well, for example, and Melissa can tell you this, every time William buys pipes and supplies, have they not doubled what they used to do? When William buys pipes or fittings or what, I mean, they're double, they're double.
Dollar store, not a dollar store anymore. $10.
No, they're not. And there's no way for us to cover those costs without an increase. I hate it. I do, but I don't know what else to do.
Oh, our big grant money, how are we doing on our electronic meeting stuff and our other,
Randy was telling us when he was here on the 11th of April that he thought that it was ready to go out for bid, and he was hoping in a couple of months they would be started on it.
and then the internal portion of it was for.
Now, I don't know, he had just gotten, he came, was it April 11th, we had the meeting, I believe, Curtis, and it was like, the Friday before, when he finally got the stuff from the state, giving him, you know, the approval where he could put stuff out for bid. So I don't know that he has any bids. I'm sure he's got bids in, but I haven't heard anything from him about it.
Now, I know that it's electronic meters and all this reading, electronic reading and all the internal computerized, bills and all this stuff. Now, how much are we gonna save any money? Are we gonna make it, gonna be efficient enough so we can, one person can, we don't need a reader meter, or so we save that, or how's it gonna do for us? What's it gonna do for us?
Well, one of the things that Randy touched on, because William was here and questioned him about it, is these meters are gonna be so much more accurate. And we're not going to be reading meters that are reading, but they're actually reflecting not a full water usage. So we're actually probably, because we've got so many old meters that aren't recording correctly, I know there's been 2 or 3 before William came back. They had the same meter reading for probably 7, 8 months.
That's about, what, 4 or 5 different brands of meters now.
Yeah.
We can tell them that.
But Randy said what they would actually do is they would just go by with kind of like an iPad and get the signal to record all this.
It goes in automatically and all that stuff.
Well, it goes into the iPad. I don't know if they have to put it on a drive or something to put it in the
It's supposed to be
computer.
more efficient, more accurate, more efficient.
Yes, sir. It's supposed to be according to Randy.
one person can read all of it.
Cause it's just pretty much driving by like, I guess the gas department at Bolivar does right now.
Yeah.
So, we got, is there a volunteer to go before the vote?
Well, I guess I will.
Anyway,
You gonna do it then?
yeah, my husband says I need to.
Well, I think because we have dealt with T-Bor and the comptroller's office so much, and I guess really we've been pulling records and into it the most, I think that we should do it. But I mean, if you want to go, that's entirely up to you, we will stay right
Who
here.
wants to go?
Y'all carry it on.
I mean, honestly, I don't really wanna do it, it's July the 18th is the next meeting, so, I will let, the comptroller's office know.
It's definitely not a pleasure trip.
No, it's not, but I think if we don't speak up, they're gonna just, because there's some new members, they're just gonna assume that we've got tons of pipes leaking. Then they'll be telling us to do a leak study.
That's not our issue.
No, it's not.
What are you gonna say, that we can't afford these studies?
Am I saying we
I
can't?
I would say that that's one of the main first things, that we can't afford these studies.
Well, it's just, because when they told us to do the feasibility study, I was really mad. When Joe was here, I got really mad about it, and I called Nate right away. And I said, we're already paying to do a study, and you don't even let us get that study done. You don't even review that study, and here you are, already issued more orders, it's gonna cost us a lot of money. And I just don't think that's right. Not that he cared, but I told him. But that's it. I mean, I just think we need to go.
Then, we don't have to, we ain't got to make no
Motion or nothing.
street department.
I haven't had any repairs to report, but I did get a talk to some people about hot water, street policy. I got a hold of Mr. Whitehead, and asked him to send me some samples, which he did, and I only have one copy, and I'm gonna look at it. And I also checked some other town street policy, and, Bolivar, Middleton, Moscow, Selma. They're different titles, that's the streets, and every one of them just about follow that same format. Same format.
They do, yeah.
And it's got some things in there that don't even apply to us, and probably don't even apply to them. It's just something in there that they had to have a policy, I guess. And I guess that's why we have to have a policy, because we need policy. We can copy one of theirs, we can copy that, or post it, and change the name to Hornsby, and put it in there as a policy and an ordinance, or we can come up with something new. I think someone talked to you, didn't it, Joe?
I think I've seen some of these already.
Yeah.
Every one of them is Title 12, it reads just like that, this is 16, so on, which is part of the municipal code, ordinances. Under the streets, they're all just like the copy each other. Started with one, everybody copied one. Even Bob.
Yeah.
We can copy them, or we can use that and put it in the form of an ordinance, or whatever you want to do. Talked to another guy about some of the public works consultant that worked for him task, or the consultant for him task, John Charleston, I think, Charleston. I asked him about some other things, he told me he could get us a city map, an accurate boundary map. He's working on it, probably about 10 days, I talked to him that yesterday. I asked him about which streets required, or generally required for the not, you know, our streets are illegal, that's what they recommend. 18 feet for two lanes, minimum. 20 is recommended. And it's pavement, edge pavement, edge pavement. Of course, a lot of ours don't meet that.
No.
No.
But, they might, when you shut them down, then it's just not like that. Only thing we could do there is make it one way, nobody goes one way. Then a lot of people will beat you back.
Yeah, until they make it straight one way.
So if you want to copy that or make it into an ordinance, I ain't got the facility to make it into an ordinance, we have to do it here.
Yeah, we probably need to just go ahead and adopt that. We just have to change all of it.
Yeah, we have to, we're gonna talk about parking meters, that's not us, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna go through there.
I ain't gonna park it, I ain't gonna.
Kind of.
We're doing our computers.
And also,
Like
I
I said,
guess,
some of the stuff in there maybe.
because I couldn't get any answer about the value of the streets. But all I can say at any time, why do you need that? Why do you need that? You need to appreciate it. The value of the streets. Somebody said we need the value, I don't know why.
Yeah, we still got to do the water department, and, because it was actually in this water rate study, and I pulled the list and started on it. It's busy work. It's busy work. That's what it is.
The value would be what it costs to replace it.
Well, he said, not necessarily. And I said, well, maybe you can call something, or what's the guy you talk to all the time about?
Steve White, but he does utilities. Eric Spencer.
Yeah. He could come down here and look at them and estimate what they're worth. I don't know how the hell he's gonna do that. I guess he's got experience with roads and again.
Well, well, I wouldn't think so. He's financial, but maybe so. I don't know, Wayne.
But they're supposed to be municipal advisor. Give you much advice on the value of the trees. That's all I have.
Do we have any more of that patch here? Is there
You
anything
got
about?
about square leg here. Did you write the letter to, him?
Melissa did.
Yeah.
That's been quite a while back.
It was before our last meeting.
Don't worry.
It may be a while, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I think they're on the snow house. Yeah, I remember that a lot.
All right, the police department.
Been out sick this week, so he's planning on being here. We don't have a policy. We have to vote on one of those yet. 911 director sent all police and fire chiefs a memo on April 23rd, saying they updated their CAD system. Inside dispatch, they need a list of all current active members for each department who needs to receive pages, text messages, or the CAD itself. She wanted that done by the 1st of May. It's not been done yet, so I don't know if whoever actually fire chief is hasn't reached back out to her. That's not been done yet. Otherwise, that's all I got right now.
Fire department, do we want to go ahead and move on this tonight?
I think we need to. There's so much chaos. It's driving everybody crazy.
We don't have two outfits. James Fosh, Dustin Lowry. No, James, I don't know Dustin. Other than I just met him. Last meeting.
I know he's working in Horn Lake tonight. He said last meeting he was on schedule to work tonight, so we're going to be here.
So,
You still don't have a key?
No,
no,
sir.
not yet. We Got two out.
You got, you want your last meeting and who's the other?
James Tosh.
Okay.
I guess the floor, we're gonna go over there, floor over for nominations.
Make a motion for Mr. Lawrence.
That's the guy here last month.
Yes, sir.
He worked for me.
Horn Lake.
He works at one lake. He lives in Mary. He's a fireman. He lives up above the county line in Mary County.
Anchor Club Road.
On Anchor Club Road. He's got a lot of good credentials. He's-
Well, he continued to work for one line.
Yes, sir.
At least if those hours shouldn't affect anybody he could do for us. The hours that he's there.
As an example, my son-in-law's a lieutenant at Bartlett. He basically works 4 days a month. So, because Wayne has a tree business on the side. I mean, they're not there like every.
Lieutenant in the fire department.
Yes, sir. So, I mean, they're not there all the time because they work those 24-hour shifts.
I don't know what she does. I don't know how many hours she put in here.
We don't pay him by the hour. He has a set salary.
He just got monthly salary.
But he has duties, I mean.
Yeah.
Does he have to do something once a
Okay.
week, or does he do something
His
once a
main
month?
responsibility is filling out papers,
They
the
have two
paperwork he
days
has
a
to
month.
fill, and
2 days a month.
meetings and stuff.
So it ain't anybody you gotta be here every day, huh?
No, it's not a full-time position.
I mean, we need to get someone because I was looking at this came up. Firemen are catching me constantly about stuff. But, and I know Curtis remembers that when the last fire department ordinance was done, the mayor refused to sign it, and it's quoted like some TCA that was being violated, and it's really not any violation. But so much of the TCA code that's in here is stuff that pertains to citizens, not the fire department, so it's not really a adequate ordinance or policy for the fire department. And that needs to be straightened out and do some actual duties and get rid of the stuff. But, I mean, it's kind of hard to have a policy that's not signed by a mayor, that's got a disclaimer on it, so we need someone to kind of start working on stuff. One of the firemen stopped me also, and I don't understand the reason for this, and Curtis, you'd be the one to know. He told me that they've been told they can only fill up at this hydrant over here, on that street behind Curtis Cox's, over from the post office. And he said that tree over there's got so many low hanging limbs, it's catching the light bar on truck 3, and it's about to tear their light bar off. So either they're gonna have to be able to use another hydrant, or we're gonna have to cut some tree limbs off. And and he said they had used another hydrant to fill up, and then they got in trouble with Russ for doing it. Russ told them that's the only hydrant they can use, so he said, we don't know what to do, where do we go? I don't know, I don't have the answer.
We've always.
Very good at that day.
Do what?
Something about here in the parking lot was very, the other day, was probably, on the hydrant on.
Well, whoever was here, there was 3 of them, Billy Irvin was here, there was, wasn't George, 3 of them here that day, I was inside and they came and got me. And he just said that they were told that that was the only hydrant they could use. And he said the limbs are just so low, it's catching their light bar, and it's gonna tear it up. I don't understand
I don't know,
why.
we've always used that one over there since I can remember.
That one back there? Well, he said it was very, very difficult to turn off and on, and William said he'd already fixed it, and if it was being difficult to turn off and on, it's been broke again. So, And I figure William did. I don't argue with William. So I don't know, but so we need a chief, because things need to get straightened out.
So we got a first, motion, second,
That's the Lord.
to
Yes,
hire
sir.
lawyers. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, so he's our new fire chief. All right, floor is open to public discussion. Let's speak one.
I do have people currently living in my house right now, they weren't able to make it to the meeting this evening. They've lived there for a week and 2 days now. And so the issue is still going on, it's not constant. The last picture I had was April 16th of it still going on. I honestly think it's the camper, because she even said, you know, I live there, so I've seen it, but you know, another set of eyes are now seeing it, is the camper lights come on at night, so somebody's living in that, so I'm pretty sure they're draining camper and it's coming across the yard. But I mean, it might still be the other issue too. I honestly don't know at the end of the day, but they've gotta be emptying that camper somehow, because if somebody's living in it, they're obviously using water of some sort, and they're obviously emptying water of some sort, and whatever else comes through it. But also, I don't know what ordinances, you know, y'all were talking about earlier, but, you know, just still pressing that issue of getting some ordinances started and continue on after that. I mean, not all at one time, but just getting it something done, you know, or something started and then proceed on.
Didn't I see a backhoe over there the other day?
About a month ago,
About a month ago,
they tore up their backyard, I mean, which so be it. Supposedly, there weren't things fully, in the ground, and supposedly they fixed that, but it's still coming across the driveway.
So they made an attempt to fix I guess a leaky fuel line or something?
That, and God only knows what else. I don't exactly remember what it was called.
Septic tank.
I apologize.
and I called the next day after you messaged me, and they were supposed to send somebody back out that week.
Yeah, and I don't.
And that was in April, so.
Right, and I think it was before, yeah, it was before the 16th. But then again, like I said, the last picture I had was the 16th. That stuff just floating. I mean, they're gonna continue to put up the privacy fence, we live there now, and there's fence in the backyard, but, you know, I should have had to deal with it, they should have to deal with it. And even like Pat mentioned in a prior meeting, is kids that live there now will be going to Hornsby next year, they'll be walking through that. And on top of that, the whole tire issue that still stands, of, you know, God forbid, you know, a fire start, the school's right there. And my child, I mean, any of the kids there, I wouldn't want nothing to happen to them.
Did you more to kill on my house?
Yes, sir, yes.
But then also the mosquitoes, as the summer comes, mosquitoes are really god awful. And that's gonna make it bad too. So I mean, you just gotta think of multiple things that are at play. And that's why, you know, Hornsby needs to clean up. And it's starting, I mean, it has some history, some thick history, it's a beautiful town and has potential to continue to be a beautiful town. But there's short stuff that still fits. On Main
The
Street.
trash is atrocious there. I mean, it truly is. And then now, of course, the grandkids live next door to me, and no one's ever outside with them. And they're bicycling, and traffic is awful on my street.
Yeah.
And you've got these kids forever in the street.
And then I know, I mean, they're out, you know, 8:30, running their lawnmower. And like, once again, like I said, there's kids living in that house. They got school the next day. I mean, just for a little bit longer, but it's still the fact of the matter, it's gonna continue on. Just, not saying you can't mow your grass at night, but I mean,
Well, they're probably riding because they actually have you seen them?
Yeah,
With the trailer, the big boy.
that's what they're doing.
And then the three little ones, they're actually riding from next door back over here with 4 people in that little trailer they pull behind the lawnmower.
What if, you know,
But I'm glad to try and call tomorrow again,
yeah,
but I mean, I did call the very next day.
oh, yeah.
But the trash is getting so bad, it's bad next door because they're doing the same thing. They've got a trailer, they're just piling bag after bag after bag
The
on.
dump's right there, you know.
And there's like 1 million feral cats in Hornsby, and all they're doing is tearing it up. I've been picking up trash, and
Yeah. And the dump isn't far whatsoever. I mean,
It's
what
very
harm can
disgusting.
you not, exactly. So if I can haul trash off, they should. But,
I agree.
we're all humane in here, you know, we're not inhumane.
It's a mess, but yeah, Jim still owns the house next door and that one, so.
Oh, I didn't know about that one, but
Yeah, he owns all of them.
I never seen both.
Which house?
What you talking about?
Oh, no, she's,
The old man, I didn't know if there's any connection. I know they're from Henry, excuse me, I don't know if they're from Henderson, they're from Chester County. And they got kicked out of their last residence for the same stuff, because when I was in contact with the zoning lady, she let me know, you know, I had to go to their last residence due to the same situation. Same situation. And they were forced to move on their last home because of this.
I know what you look at it like, our charter said, and maybe chapter 12, I, 15 and 16, like drains and obnoxious stuff, it can be condemned, I mean,
yes, sir. I agree.
The house didn't have a floor in it when they moved in. There were people living in storage buildings.
I don't know about that, I would think somebody need to talk to him first. What do you think? Mayor?
It should be responsible, it's his house. It's his house.
I agree, it's awful, I hate to say it, but it's gotten so bad, and like next door to me, there's appliances in the backyard, there's a refrigerator, there's stove, I don't even know what all's in the backyard.
Well, that's part of the same roof, right?
It's a mess, yeah, it's that lady's door.
The people that were living in the storage buildings moved into that house.
They're driving, just got out of jail for DUI, no driver's license, I mean, it's just, it's a mess.
Next regular be June the 4th, before that, that's our next Thursday, got a motion